Hello all, this is Alys, and today here we are with part 3 of the first day of the 2004 Pathologic Alpha. On time. Yet again. Is this a habit? I have to thank you all for staying here so far. I know the previous videos, especially the first 2 of the alpha, have been a bit too heavy on the dialogue stuff. I cannot promise this is going to slow down in the next videos, but what I can promise is that you're already going to see some of the missions of the first day advance a bit further here. Yeah, I know it is not much, but it's honest work. So, without further ado, Alys plays Pathologic, the Bachelor Alpha, Day 1, Part 3, in which the Bachelor continues to unearth more information of the town on Gorkhon. And since we have a lot of stuff to do, let's go outside. Okay, so first of all, we check the menu, just in case. So we gotta go to the cemetery and to find Murky. But first of all, wrong key. First of all, we're going to check on Saburov, just in case he has something else to say. And it will be better if we don't get stuck. Yeah, sorry. Can I help you? Can you convince Georgi to show me Simon's body? Simon's body lies in the horns, presumably in a cold cellar, and maybe at a banquet table. I doubt old Cain would let me examine him. He treasured his brother so much that now he's afraid to face the truth. So he's looking for the killer and at the same time believes that Simon is alive? No one can believe that Simon could die. It's hard for you to understand, but we have lived with him for too long and witnessed events which do not lead to such a conclusion. Take our word for it. Killing Simon is as impossible as killing air or a ragdoll. So Georgi thinks that the killer is nothing more than a trickster? A deceiver who managed to mislead people? Your insight is admirable. Believe me, our people accept the death of Simon no easier than the death of the sun or the deity. Coming to terms with his death is like coming to terms with your own. It is not easy. Georgi believes that if he establishes the identity of the killer, he will be able to correct the damage caused by him. Curious. And you seem like a sensible person to me. If you were asked to take urgent precautions based on someone's sinister dream, would you accept them? I understand your skepticism, Bachelor. Yes, I myself have shared your point of view for a long time. I believe that isolated cases of abnormal psychic phenomena sometimes occur somewhere on our Earth, which fit the superstitions of the crowd and puzzle scientists. Now I think differently. How? Duty tells me to be objective, but I was saved by the facts. The facts tell me that for 20 years now I have been living in a society of people who are able to see the future. Is this a prank? If your actions are predicted several times in a row up to the exact sequence of ridiculous accidents, your skepticism will seriously waver. I have to soon believe the facts. Sounds convincing, but it doesn't fit in my head. Okay, so yeah, we have all this. You have a charming wife, ruler. Thank you. Katerina is not only a charming woman, but also a worthy ruler. Not the ruler's wife, but the ruler. Do you feel the shade? And the dignity of a ruler depends on his ability to take care of his subjects. Do you agree? Undoubtedly. So, Katerina rarely gives bad advice. She knows how to weigh her words. That's why she says less than she sometimes would like to know. That's why she rarely conjectures her own revelations. She says only what she can be responsible for. Of course, I will treat your wife's words with due respect. Yeah, so we have 3 more conversations. I don't understand Georgi. I see in his actions a complete lack of common sense. Yes, he's probably up to something. His words are sincere, but his motives are hidden. You know, Georgi didn't love Brother Simon. I think he even envied him. But Georgi found the strength to recognize Simon's superiority and devoted himself completely to his brother, my brother's case. His grief seems genuine, and judging by the fervor with which he took up his hand, the Kanes have great family solidarity. Life for them is a mission. It wasn't the loss of his brother that made Georgi so furious. Would you agree? Even among young people, it is rare to find such fervent brotherly love. And if we talk about the elders, no. It's different here. So, what excited Georgi? Bachelor Dankovsky, you will forgive me. I have one theory about this, but I will act disrespectfully towards Georgi if I share my opinion with a stranger about what is being cooked in the kitchen of the Kanes. I can only say one thing. Simon's death is a sign of something that puts Georgi in fear. I've already figured that out. And what do you think about Mr. Olgimsky? Why are you interested in this? I don't quite understand how you share the burden of governing with him. Looks like there's no further options going through in this conversation. So, one more question, Alexander. Who is this Rubin? Rubin is a strong man in every sense of the word. He can equally easily twist the neck and put it in place. He always acts for the sake of others, never for himself. A selfless person, principle. You can rely on him. Is he a doctor? Self-taught, but gifted. Such a folk healer. He knows the anatomy, but treats the human body very arbitrarily. This is all the legacy of steppe customs. If he had received an education, he would have lost all this knowledge and only become completely confused. But you should get acquainted. And yet that does look like a bit of a commentary on what happens with the Haruspecs at the beginning of the story. It seems that this cannot be avoided. And off we go. So, day 1. No, sorry. Save. Day 1. Saburov. 0. I think it's 02. I think I visited him previously. Yeah. So off we go. First of all to the cemetery. Then no, sorry, first of all to Aspitis Hospice. Second, to the cemetery. Third, we visit Murki. And afterwards we continue our round, saying hello to everyone. Because yes, in the true pathologic fashion, we do have to walk a lot. So let's see. Yeah. Sorry again, wrong key. Yeah, it's nice to return to the town of Gorkhon after such a long while. Even if, how could I say this? Yeah. Even if there's these little differences that are weirding me out a little, but also, yeah, most of them I do happen to really like how the sky looks and all that. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, we're going on the exact way we have to go. Mind you, one of the things that pretty much kills me of all this is yeah, how could I say it? Yeah, it's that I finally managed to get accustomed to the version of the town as seen in the in Pathologic 2 and the Marble Nest, and now returning to the town as seen in the original game. It's going to get me some time to get accustomed. Anyhow, we're here at Aspitis Hospice. By the way, I am not the kind of person to condone stealing, but I did find a little exploit, which is that if you pick the stuff inside the cupboards, whoever is in the houses will not notice and try to beat your backside. Of course, what you shouldn't do is obviously pick the stuff that is outside. There you'll find that the inhabitants of the house do happen to get really mad at you. So be careful. Hello! So for example, you see there are 2 bottles of Twinine, but we're not picking them because it is not worth the hassle. Those are empty, and here's the butcher, but we are not talking to the butcher. We are going to the 2nd floor. We're going to do some checking previously, because as I stated previously, I am a complete and utter raccoon. Here's Stargirl Aspity, and here's a bottle of water that I'm not picking. But here's 3 lemons, so now we have 6, and 3 hazelnuts, which always come in handy. Hello, girl. Do you know where you can find clean water here? So there's probably plenty of water here near the river. All this water flows from the steppe. It is quite clean. But the day before I went through all the city springs. Now there's almost no clean water left in the city. There's a salty taste everywhere. It is red rusty in color and there are some nasty clots in it. And where to get clean water now? Residents store clear water in home tanks. The modern supplies they have made recently should last for a while longer. And then you have to slurp this bloody swill. What an abomination. Also, again, apologies for the sudden messes during the reading. I try. And what do you need here? You have a fugitive in hiding. Take me to him. Why on earth? He is in danger. I came to help him. It's the butcher. He won't talk to you. You don't understand him. I'd rather tell you. What do you want to tell me about? The big one dug the flop house for a reason. The butcher is rumbling erratically, but if you make out what he's mumbling, there are things going on that make my hair stand on end. Thousands of people went mad at once. Many died. Porridge is brewing. Can you get him out of town? Yes. And why? He's entertaining me here, and it's dangerous to go to the steppe. I don't want to be torn apart by hunters on the streets. They will also think that I am Shabnakadir. How will you repay me for such a favor? I'm curious, but at the same time, I'm not curious, because we all know what Aspiti can be up to. Okay, so, yeah, let's go with this one, because otherwise he will be killed. If you kick me out, hard thugs will come here. Okay, I'll take care of the butcher. He will disappear. You can assume that he wasn't here. You, most importantly, leave now, and let no one come here for 4 hours. These are my conditions. Agreed. And let's see what else she has to say. Did anyone want to kill Simon? That's right. No one's seen Shabnak, and everyone already knows about his will. Do you know that the bit of an ogre anticipates his death? He will know in advance that he is next. Walking, rushing, waiting, and waiting. So you can find out who's being hunted. What are you talking about? The interior countdown is turned on. How much left until the end? Wow, fearfully. It's good that I'm not thinking about anything like that yet. You're going to grin some nonsense. You'll be next. This is called autosuggestion. Keeping on your tongue? Thanks. Okay, listen, how do you cope with this dope? My head is already spinning. The grass generously gives us its juices. People use the person as if they have plunged into the depths. It's good. Can you show me this grass? The whole steppe is overgrown with it this year. This has never happened before. An unheard of harvest and a hot summer. Long, brown, or dirty green crawling on the ground. There is not enough of it near the city. Generation after generation. Some burned it, others collected it. Not even the roots are left. How could I get a copy? Yeah, sorry. It's again the magic of machine translation. Sorry. Yeah. There's a whole community of 3D collectors here. You need to know the grass. It burns the soul in every different ways. Everything affects the time of the year, weather, roots, stems, seed, color, breed. I'll look for one of them. I forgot. How your veins swelled. It is my closeness that excites you so much, or is it already starting? What can you say about Katerina Saburova? Katerina was a queen, but she became a witch. She shouldn't have played with the dark forces. Did she play? Absolutely. She was just a girl when Nina died. Katerina gladly accepted the role of the Dark Mistress, but then all the burden of caring for the townland fell on Victoria, and it was possible to play. But I got carried away. Rumor has it that she stabs herself in the thigh with morphine and receives visitors with ghost skin at night. Did she tell about the skin temperature herself, or random witnesses? Or maybe the visitors themselves? Oh, come on, Speedy, look at me. Do you hate Olgimsky? And which one? Senior or junior? I mean, if I had visited Vladito first, we would have the option for junior too. But anyhow, since I haven't, let's say senior. I hate, of course, but with a touch of respect. Why? They say he's a tyrant who turned his workers into a herd of humanoid animals, so it is supposed easier for him to manage them. Now, that's not true. They are indeed humanoid animals, and some not even very humanoid. A Speedy, please. Anyhow, and what? I hate Olkimsky, but here even I feel respect for him. He knows how to work with his people. Clear. Do you communicate with Grace? Grace is completely abnormal. She talks to me like I am dead. Yes, I thought you looked alike. Did you hear her breathing? Deep, noisy, torn. It's like she's swallowing oxygen with difficulty or holding back sobs. And her breath is fresh, clean, even as a fragrant but sweet. Which, given the specifics of her profession, causes ominous associations. You better not get caught on the tongue. It's better to not get caught in the Grace's tongue. Your jokes are bad. I guess also that this one would make sense with the Grace's original name, as it's Laska, which also happens to mean weasel as far as I know. By the way, let's check. Wow, young miss, you do have no clipping powers. Hello. Shall we switch? Interesting. Okay, so let's take the lockpick and thanks for doing business. Okay, so again with the saving, save day 1 as PT01. Well, Murky's wagon is pretty much marked by the fact that there's... Oh well? Hello? Funnily enough, I don't remember ever seeing someone walking in this place. Unless they had to be here. Hello? Wait. Hi. Shall we switch? So they have an immunity pill and Meradorm. Okay, so it's 2. Yeah, maybe I can consider... Yeah, clock, and we get both stuffs. What the fuck? Oh, I hate when this happens. Anyhow, here you go, kiddo. I want this. Let's see. Just... oh, yeah. I got too tempted by the bartering and I forgot that, yeah, Murky's wagon in this early version is... yeah, in the Patho 1 version is not as far as the wagon in Pathologic 2. Hello, sweetie. I love her. I love her a lot. She's braced up and muttering from all heads. She said he let her heart out before you see it. What kind of news is this? You can hide from her in the nursery, but not for long, and the cleaner throws it incorrectly. This is a spinning wheel. She is who? Don't know. Tell your mom she'll come, you know. Daniil, please. You have already been told that her mom is dead? Talk about lack of tact. Why are you looking at me like that? Will you take me to play with you? What do you want to play? You seem to be playing hospital. We're playing. Not to the hospital, we're playing dugout. Whoever gets sick with a dugout will die. All his blood will burn, and his forehead will become brittle and fall inside. Can he be cured? There are medicines in a stupid house. Powders. They were made a long time ago. Some are treated and some are worse. There are many of them. I'll give it to you tomorrow. You'd better show me this stupid house. The stupid house is locked. Sticky can fit into it. Sticky is clever, but I don't know how. And where does the Sticky live? Sticky lives in the tannery yard. Show me. And as I was saying, a tomboy named Matt, Sticky, knows how to get into such houses where decent people do not go, either because it is unsafe here and there, or because they are not allowed there. Matt knows the addresses and secrets of the houses where children played with death. And yeah, take the lockpicks from the boy nicknamed Matt and open the lock house. And we save. Would be nice if I remembered to add the word save before. And we go for a tiny walk. And yeah, So far I was thinking that, yeah, we have to visit Bladito, and before we... Christ, I always forget that there are places that for some reason I always end up crashing against, but never mind. Yeah, we're going to visit Bladito and then we'll see what we do. Oh, I forgot we have to visit Capella to tell her the mission is done. Yeah, sorry. I love having some bottles, and yeah, not a watch, but yeah, it's a razor. Just in case, yeah, not. And we're going to see my man Bladito. But before, we're getting some water because it's always nice to be hydrated. Man, I really do not like how you've decorated this place. The earth tones really do look better for you. The grey drains you a lot of life from the face. So, an interesting case was noticed yesterday in the kidney area. Playing as usual in the ground, the children suddenly rushed away from the sandbox. According to witnesses, the pens were abundantly soaked in blood. However, neither their expressions nor their voices indicated that anyone was injured or surprised. What's the solution? When the alarmed adults approached the place of the game, they found nothing special, only some cakes and pegs. What do you think about it? Strange games are played by your children. It's nice to meet a man of a skeptical disposition. I am Vladislav Olgimsky, Jr., of course, and you, of course, are Daniil Dankovsky. The rumor about your appearance spread instantly. Yes, this is me. Yeah, I tend to forget that stuff like this does happen because it is an alpha, and of course there are bits of dialogue that are still left to do. But sorry, I just found the general thread thing very funny. What do you think about Simon's death? It is known that before his death, Simon limited his social circle. He only received 2 visitors. I don't know anything about the first one, but the second one was none other than Isidor Burach. The fact that he was killed the same night suggests some thoughts, doesn't it? Did the killer remove the witness? Or an accomplice? After all, Isidor was not an easy man. Did I tell you about the role he played in The Way? The Way of Life considered him a very authoritative person. Of course, The Way and The Way of Life, it's the king. But, yeah, I might have to do some further corrections to this translation. Or maybe not, because, yeah, it's kind of in the spirit of the early Patho translations and the translations of some other IPL games. I'm looking at you, Cargo, The Quest for Gravity. Your Spanish version is pretty much atrocious. What does it mean? Isidore was not a doctor, more like a witch doctor. After all, he did not study medicine. All his recipes were based, so to speak, on the roots. Yes, he knew a lot. If you like, he was a sorcerer. A completely different plant than Simon. An earth sorcerer, so to speak. This is the first time I've heard that Simon was a sorcerer. Simon was a magician. Isidore is a healer. And you believe that the healer Isidore was able to accomplish the impossible. This is an option, but not an indisputable one. And yeah, this conversation finishes. But let's check more on what Vladito has to say. You have a strange view of the world. Tell me about the local traditions. Yes, Doctor. Supernatural circumstances, alas, have long governed the life of our community. We, ourselves, in fact, no longer decide anything. You don't look like a person who takes supernatural circumstances into account in his calculations. Oh, I'm just a practical person. When I see that the community that I have to manage, with primitive fanaticism, connects its well-being to the shape of the horns of a sacrificial bull, I take this into account. Are you going to rule this city? Sure. After all, I am my father's son. A dynastic marriage with the daughter of the Canes could bring my children absolute power over the city. And in any case, we, the Olginskis, own the project. Clear. And yeah, it's opinion time. Opinion and description. Who is Aspity? Fox's head is in place, that's for sure. No matter how she behaves, she is not blissful. On the contrary, she is cunning, calculating. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that all these years she has been preparing a complicated intrigue, the consequences of which are about to begin to unfold. All this is shocking. He sees that everyone is playing night terrors here, and not just to us. Clear. Pretty much clear. And yeah, of course, Pox might be a far more direct translation of Ospinas, which is, as you all know, Aspiti's name in the Russian version. And let's see his opinion on Katerina Saburova. Katerina played the role of an arbitrator for a long time, keeping the housewives from open conflict. After Nina's death, she began to gravitate toward the dark beginning in order to balance Olgimskaya. When Olgimskaya also died, Saburova, still very young, remained the last mistress. Then she, burdened with the reputation of a witch talking to the underground evil spirits, had to master the unusual road of a city benefactress. Now she is torn between her new mission and her dark past, which she does not want to get rid of. And yeah, this does sound mostly like a generic description, more like the opinion of a character. But yeah, it would be interesting to see the actual opinion Vladito has about Katerina, since he doesn't seem to have a very, let's say, positive opinion of the role his own mother took. But anyhow, it might just be me. Who is Big Vlad? This is my father. I honor him and obey him. He has a lot of flaws. Its main quality is heaviness. Heavy character, heavy-handed, heavy burden, heavy power. But he is the boss. And that's how he's supposed to be. If it weren't for his severity, the way of life would have buried us long ago. Always is less than he means. He doesn't like to lie, to conceal the truth. He's more willing to resort to omissions than to misinformation. And yeah, here we see that even if it still verges more on description, we can see hints of Vlad's opinion regarding Senor Vlad. And yeah, we have so far Victor Kane, Capella, and Maria. Who is Victor Kane? The story is moving past us. Victor is the only ruler who even realizes that we are not as reliably isolated from the world as it seems. We relaxed during Simon's reign, like children behind their parents' backs. When the authorities want to pull us out of this corner or launch us to us, it will break us. Victor is the only one who will be able to truly protect us. Alexander's plan is a chimera. And yeah, now I'm also interested in seeing more stuff where Vladito and Victor actually interact. Could be something. Could be something. Who is Capella? Capella is similar to Maria Caina. For children, he plays the same role as Maria for science. She is an absolute charismatic leader of children. In any place, wherever she appears, children go crazy, as if adrenaline is thrown through their blood. But she doesn't know what to do with this power. They just rush around the yards, getting drunk from each other's proximity. It won't end well. When they disbelieve in it, it will be torn apart. Yeah, there's here's the original, even if translated, version of what we will later get of Vlad's description of his sister. Who is Maria? A beautiful, fearless, and ruthless woman, this Maria. When Nina died, they thought that there were not such people left. She inherited authority from her father and a passion for mysticism and witchcraft from her mother. Smart, but not intelligent. Rather, she is perceptive, sensitive to falsehood, immediately able to figure out the true nature of a person. Everyone adores her, but it seems to me a demonic obsession, not true love. Very well then, my dear. But remember, you're going to end up married to her. And yeah, another saving moments. Save day 1, Vladito 01. And yeah, the next stop, let's check. Yeah, we've talked to Vladito. Yeah, I forgot that we have this thing. Just in case, let's see what time is it. It's only 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, this bad boy can definitely fit too many dialogues in it. Yeah, no, dude, we're not switching anything. Let's see, because I'm collecting lockpicks. Hello! Shall we switch? Yeah, she has a lockpick, she has a lockpick. Thank goodness she has a lockpick. Yeah, as I said, I do not condone. Oh yeah, I forgot we gotta see Capella. Okay, so as I was saying, I do not condone getting into houses and stealing. But yeah, it's here it works so much better. To do so. Tiny girl, tiny girl. I don't think she might have a smother yet. But hi. Shall we exchange? Nah, not interested. Thank you, love. Okay. If you were wondering, yes, I was looking if there were trash cans there. Let's talk with Capella, and then we'll probably move to the Tanners. How unopportunately everything happened. I did what you asked me to do. Well, what? He was taken to the step. Good. Who took him away? A woman named Aspiti. I do not know such a woman. Did she talk to you? Is she also from the way of life? Is that what you were asking me? Okay, suspicious though. But all well that ends well. Did you manage to find out what's going on in the cemetery? Okay, let's see if there's some further options. Yeah, I'm not telling Senor Vlad, because fuck that. Yeah, sorry. I'll try to censor that part in post-production, sorry. As far as I understand, the cemetery is gripped by mass madness, and they seem to be killing each other. I promise to tell you a secret. Listen up. Surely you don't know how we play nuts? Afraid not. This is a complex game with heroes, wonderings, and sequels. It's a long story to tell about her. But nuts are very rare in the city. Almost everything that is here is already divided, hidden, or walking in the game. And so, grown-up children are not given nuts, and they are not discharged from the capital, because that's the way this game is. Adults do not approve of it. Do you understand? Interesting. If you get a chance, take nuts everywhere. Children will give for them, and they will tell you a lot of things that will help you. Nutkins churners will even change jewelry and cartridges for nuts. That's my secret. Just don't let it slip that I told you this. Thanks. Are you friends with your brother? No, I'm not friends. I love him, but we're not friends. And everything was different when I was little. Why aren't you friends now? My brother is too cynical. It seems to him that he looks at life impartially, but in fact he misses so much important. He considers himself a rationalist and considers this a great picture. Virtue. Sorry. Do you consider this disadvantage? Not in a city like ours. When there were such amazing people and such events nearby, It's like getting up during a performance and repeating the secrets of magic tricks to children. What for? Nobody needs this sober view of things. Perhaps. Tell me about Murky. And what do you need it? She seems rather unsociable. She's an orphan. Murky has several friends, kids as Sulan as herself. It's hard to get along with them. Their games are usually about building houses where they farm, hide from dangers, and fight for life, pretending to be fictional animals. Oh, I'm sorry, but that's adorable. What happened to her parents? Her father was killed in the war, in the Battle of Karst River, and her mother died 5 years ago when an epidemic broke out in the damn buildings. What kind of epidemic was it? A very terrible disease, incomprehensible. No one knows why it started then. Those who are sick of her turning right inside out from the pain. It was said that the blood boils and the bones become like a red hot. And the skin became raw and grey, like sand. That's why it's... Sorry. That's why it was called Sandy Mud. It's bad. And nothing else. And yeah, we've finished with Capella. Capella 02. And yeah, time to go. Oh yeah, forgot to go see. We gotta go see Anna to tell her her nightmare is over. Okay. And maybe by then we could also get to visit maybe Andrei Stamatin. Why not? Okay, we are just here near the willows. With Anna, her red dress, and her very creepy neck. I'm sorry, it just creeps me out. How grateful I am to you. Will I be able to thank you? You have nothing to thank me for. Anyway, I think I'll have a chance to thank you very soon. You won't regret it. You'll see how grateful I am. You are too excited. You need to sleep. In my opinion, the wind is changing. Okay. Anna, tell me honestly, do you also consider Simon's death unnatural? No, not at all. He could be the one who absorbed all our blood. Sorry, I read that wrong yet again. No, not at all. How could the one who absorbed all our blood not die? One person can't do it. There are limits to the endurance of a living being, and limits to the passions of the world. I take it that Simon liked to overstep the limits? Loved and knew how. There were all sorts of rumors about him. For example, they say that if you bury him underground for a few days, nothing would happen to him. Sharpened iron rods were also thrown at his back. One rod pierced through him, but Simon did not die. He's a sorcerer. Good Lord in heaven! And yet, who could have killed him? Ambius? No one is to blame for his death. I think Simon was doomed. what he was doing was beyond the power of one person. I think I'm just being fooled. Who is Julia? Lurisheva, the smartest girl in our city, undoubtedly. She had read more books than she had written. Where does she live? There's an edge in the block, a beautiful place. It is the This is the northeastern part of the nodes. Her house stands on the cape itself. Such an unusual mansion with long thin pillars. It is called Seine. Why Seine? Because once he was at the water's edge, the river is getting shallow. But some say that this name also has a hidden, sinister meaning. Be careful with Julia. You always need to be on your guard. I'll probably never learn it. Someday I'll have to. Okay. And why are there so few people on the streets? Everyone is dreaming or dreaming. Here, in the earth, the smell of trickery is especially strong. It is impossible to escape from it. Neither walls, nor fabric, nor glass stop this dope. Does your head hurt? Very. It's good that you can sleep at least all day, but at this time you have such terrible dreams. Imagine what hell is going on in the head of housewives. What other hostesses? Yeah, it's the mistresses. Sleepy housewives, Karina, Olginskaya, and Saburova. Now, after the death of Victoria and Nina, their little daughters are trying to see the future, but of course, they are still far from their mothers. Your clairvoyance terrifies me. Anna, what kind of smallpox is this? And let's see if this means the sunpest or Aspeti. Aspeti. What? What are you talking about? Girl, a mysterious girl named Aspeti. How you scared me. And what makes you think it's a girl? Have you seen her at all? Yes. So? You know, the children say that Aspet is not a person, but a spirit created by this step for some special purposes. But of course, I don't believe it. Also, some signs make you think. Which ones? No, it's all nonsense. In general, I don't like gossip. They will come up with some kind of lie about the person, they thrash it, and then they get used to it so much that it becomes truer than the truth itself. I hate it. Come on, calm down. Okay, and yeah, we have this one about Alexander and this one about Grace. Is Alexander a good ruler? Yes, and what kind of ruler is he? Alexander is the husband of his wife. The housewives have real power here. Unusual, so you have a matriarchy. Not quite. Here is a simple form of power. She's kind of very natural. The union of mystical power which is implemented by the housewives and material management through capital and power which is carried out by men, like in the family. Although, I don't know, I've never had a family. Don't you like don't you like what kind of decisions your wife makes for Alexander? Yeah, it's his wife. Conversely, Katerina, in the sense of spiritual power, Strong, of course, but not as much as I would like. As soon as the right moment comes, Saburov will try to compensate for the weakness of his wife with absolute administrative power. Does Alexander exercise executive power? Traditionally, as if yes. I think he's the only one who wants to create it, because we still don't have it. However, you're well versed in such matters. This is strange. And the last one, which surprised me and made me feel certain fear. Anna, stay away from Grace, please. Do you like Grace? Grace, poor thing. She was given a thick treating by her father since childhood. She's been like this ever since. Crazy. Why? He thought it would teach her to understand the dead better. He achieved his goal. He added the girl to the host of the dead. He inherited the profession. You can't say anything. But she sings wonderfully. Perhaps also thanks to tweeting. I've never heard such a voice from anyone. Daniil, you shouldn't ask that. Better than you? She has a different timbre. The voice has not been delivered. It has not been processed. How can we compare? I'm not in the voice right now. I haven't been singing for a long time. Sorry, I'd like to hear you sing. Yeah, I'd say it was a pleasure, but yeah, it wasn't. Day 1 and 02. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah. And let's see, just in case. Now the next point is Sticky's place, but I think we could also check Andrei. Now we are at it, and you can see what kind of a model he's wearing here. Fashion, baby. On the feet of this man I see the dust of the pavements of my dear capital. From far, I bet you'd met me somewhere before. Probably the opposite. In any case, I don't have the honor of knowing you. When I'm alone, you can say you to me. I'm Andrei. Never mistake me for Peter. I have a quarrelsome character, and I don't want you to think badly of my brother. I am very tempted to pick this choice. But I'm not picking it. I won't think badly of your brother. Honor and respect to our glorious guest. Drink poison with us, Bachelor. Do they say anything about Simon's murder? Behind the bottle, what they won't tell you. Rumor has it that the cannibal Shabnak was not seen, but heard, that by the household seers, drunkards, and those who happened to pass near the horns that night. I wondered what they were doing in there, these bastards. Maybe they wanted to see the lovely Maria once again in the window. What did they hear? Heard a rattle. We heard sobs. We heard breathing so heavy as if a whale was breathing. The unmistakable signs of a hair-eater. Here and there, behind the windows, behind the walls of the houses, behind the corners of the gateway. Frightened. People come here and then forget themselves from nightmares. Is breathing so heavy that you can hear it through the walls? So he doesn't have long left. That's why I'm saying, as a doctor, everything is possible. It's also possible that addiction to tweeting often goes hand in hand with a poetic mood. Such a mood disposes to exaggerations, but they are all so devoid of imagination that they sing the same lies. This is the pain that haunts me. Interesting. Do you believe the predictions, Andrei Stamatin? How to say? I agree, they don't go well with the compromat. On the other hand, when you are convinced of their effectiveness on your own skin, you have to reckon with them. Did they predict something for you? Yes, Katerina predicted my imminent death. Katerina is not without abilities, so sooner or later you will die. There is nothing to do. I would like your optimism. Do you know a girl named Eva Yan? Bah, have you met Eva Yan? Congratulations. Who is she? Eva is sick. She's an nymphomaniac. A sensual woman, you know, although she doesn't go to bed with everyone. He languishes with a secret attraction, and as the poet said, she is in love, and very much in love with, and the object of her passion is dark. Her head turned just on this subject. You be careful with her. Don't speak ill of her if you don't want a quarrel. But yeah, gotta choose this one because I'm curious. And what is the object of her passion? I suppose you've already heard enough of such riddles here, and now you are going to punch me in the face, even though you won't get there. The object of her passion is not a person. It'll kill her. Unless, of course, sooner or later she becomes a nun. She is capable of it, such a nature. And I can't say anything else. Intriguing. Honor and respect to our glorious guest. Drink poison with us, Bachelor. There's a girl named Anna Angel living next door. Is this not the singer who performed Thunderstorm? You think Anna is a singer? No one has ever heard her sing. And all because she's not a singer. She's hiding here from the authorities. For what crime? There's a version that she was a rebel in the past. But look at her. What an underground woman she is. The February uprising has nothing to do with it. However, there's no smoke without fire. I think the dove was a screen for the caravan of the Ace of Diamonds. If I am right, I wondered what role she played in this. Do you see what kind of monsters we have gathered here? A city of freaks. Huh? The Ace of Diamonds? Is this the theater of death or what? Well, yes, a caravan, you remember. The whole kidnap thing. Even when the Thimblers were accused, the same bacchanalia was going on in the streets of the capital. All the artists who gave performances on the streets were killed. All marking the immortal then went on the run. Clear. What do you say about Maria? Apparently he says nothing because... Okay, yeah. What do you say about Maria? About Maria? I will say that her brilliant talent will surpass even Nina's abilities. Maria will be able to scoop out the stars with one handful and magma from the heart of the earth with the other. There's something to hope for. Mind you, I'm serious. There's not a note of irony in my voice. What is her talent? This is a common gift of the Kings, to see the hidden and make the impossible possible. There's no name for such art, because even only a few people own it. Maria hides her true strength for the time being, but it is already clear when the time comes, she will stop at nothing. The power of this gift will justify all her willfulness. Are you talking about the ability to see the future? You have been given this ability to see the future. You can see the future. This is a joy for the simpletons. You can see the future of those who are not able to fight for it. Man is the creator of his own destiny. I'm talking about the ability to bring the light to light what is it's by its very nature hidden from man. Can the Canes do that? Of course. They don't have a diploma hanging on their wall confirming that at any time and in any place they will see you and pull out whatever your heart desires. This, you know, is not for you to sharpen knives. Not the kind of craft which you can open a shop in the street. For visual tricks, to the theater. I understand there's no need to get so excited. It's all kinds of funny that he's wearing merchandise for the pub. Okay, so then we have the one about Victor and the one about Grace. What do you think about Victor Kane and Ray? Victor will be perfectly able to rule. He will not need anyone. He, and not Georgi, is Simon's true heir, but he wants to leave it here, study science. I consider it a betrayal. Why? Yes, because let the Canes sink capricious tyrants, but they managed to save the city from this terrible civil war. Our authorities, take a look. Instead of building a utopia out of the country, they've trampled on the last crumbs of good that the predecessors managed to create. Who can resist this? Okay, so yeah, there's some temporal framing that we can gather from the conversations that we've had with Andrei so far. But what does Victor have to do with it? Simon was able to do this. I don't know how he managed, step by magic, to make sure that the games of the authorities did not affect our province. They didn't see us, didn't trample on us, didn't climb to us. And the city bloomed. Victor was a noteworthy student of Simon. He will be able to do the same, but Georgi is not. Then why hasn't Victor left yet? Here he is held by love for Maria. He sees in her the shadow of his Nina. In general, I understand him. It is impossible to live in a place where everything reminds of her. But I would prefer that he took power into his own hands and turned the city into a new round, even higher to the sky. Everything will work out. Tell me about Grace. If I manage to click on this, that is. This. The daughter of this corpse eater. What can I tell you about her? The daughter of the cemetery watchman, who himself drank the dead and gave her a little tweeting. He brought her mother into the coffin and would have brought her if he hadn't died from the poison himself. Did he give her tweetings in childhood? Well, yes, taciturn. She communicates more with the dead than with the living. From early childhood she looked after the graves, which could not but affect the child's head. From a city cemetery she's something like a guardian spirit, like the mother superior of a termitary. Whose mother superior? The commander's daughter, the dwarf. She's like an antwinter in a whole flop house. They say these monsters carry her in her arms and feed her with a spoon. I like to see it. Well. And yeah, we got our first news on Taya herself. And yeah, find it kind of funny that Grace is one of the people you can ask Andrei about, especially considering what happens in Pathologic 2, what with Peter adopting her, which, while I'm intrigued by the dynamic between the two, I still consider it not the best decision. And you know what? We're going to check on Peter. That is, if we can go upstairs. Good Lord in heaven. Bless. There's no creepy statue. Peter doesn't have... Okay, you just... Finger guns. Sorry. I cannot even. Okay. It's just too fucking silly. I'm sorry, Peter, but if there's a character that I definitely don't see in the finger guns position, that's Peter. Peter Stamadin. Sorry. In your eyes I see the glimmer of my insides. Who is my long-awaited guest? I am Daniil Dankovsky, a good drinking buddy and a good conversationalist. You won't make a mistake if you call me Peter. If you call me Andrei for a change, you won't make a mistake either. What do you mean? All questions later. Let's drink a twir into our acquaintance. And you can't hurt me by refusing. There's a retort in one of the cabinets. Thanks. I'll drink to your wit. It seems to me that someone is scratching at the window. The Keynes asked me to help them with their investigation. Are you following Simon? Then I want to tell you something that won't comfort you. Maybe it will seem important to you. Speak. I saw Simon the day before he died. He was very, very afraid of someone, literally to whiteness. He looked around, looked out of the window every minute, drew some signs on his skin with a dry brush. I keep thinking, who could have scared him so much? Let's see if there's something else. Yeah, just these two. Is that all? Not so little. The evidence is more important than fingerprints. Simon was not afraid of anyone. If you imagine what could scare him, it could reduce the circle of suspects to a minimum. Yes, if you knew Simon, you would understand. Trying to imagine, at least remotely, the appearance of this monster excites my imagination. Did you communicate often? Simon often talked to me about special paradoxes. He considered me a good specialist in this field and an interesting conversationalist. Peace be upon him. Everyone catches a female. Are these remnants of the matriarchy, the serpent mother, the abyss, and the like? You know, by the way, an amazing girl has been walking around our city for some time. They say she can work miracles with the imposition of hands. If you happen to meet her, you will have to test her miraculous abilities. She will probably be able to take the headache away, right? One more psychic. The concentration of anomalies sounds such a patch, seeks the limits of my perception. She heals the sick and the alien. Maybe she's a healer, maybe a saint, or maybe a charlatan. I would like to believe that the saint is not so many miracles happening around. Undoubtedly, she's a charlatan. I see you are in a depressed mood too. Sleepy housewives are silent. It's both sad and strange. Yes, and sad and strange. And even Panna Katerina does not favor us with her poisonous psalms. Oh my god, there's an option to go, then bitch, you live like this. Anyhow, tell me, Peter, about the sleepy housewives. It's just that the housewives had an inexplicable, magnetic, maternal power over us. The trouble with Katerina is that she's a defector. You can't stop between the mountain and the abyss. If you don't start climbing up, you will certainly slide down. Down is easier. Up is more dignified. What do you mean? It's nothing. She is a false mistress. That's what worries me. She has no right to have visions. If you like, my twirling dreams have more reason to change our lives, because I am honest and true to myself. I didn't betray anyone. All my life I have done only what I consider to be true creativity. Calm down. Loyalty is worthy of respect. Betrayal is contemptible. And yeah, let's try not to focus on the finger guns. Okay. Yeah. So we have more on Eva. Do you like Eva? Yes. I don't think it's vicious. I like that she likes to bare her thighs on every willing occasion, and it's not shy about her nakedness. She seems shameless, but this is just a feature of her psyche. It's just that Eva is full of unrequited love. Eva loved my creation, even when it was a blueprint. You mean the tower on the other side of the river? Yes. In my opinion, she deserves to be admired. People wonder at the creations of my tortured mind. Sometimes they even admire them, but they don't like them. Even children who cannot live without it, who live and play in it, even they tolerate it. After all, it is inconvenient for life. To love him, you need to have a huge imagination and generosity. Does Eva have it? Undoubtedly, she could have become the soul of my creation. But for some reason, she didn't. What do you think that is? I'll tell you if I find out. I heard a singer named Anna Angel lives here. Yes, only poor Anna lost her voice. I sympathize with her because I understand her. because she is holding up well, and I don't like unhappy people. I also have a strong feeling that she's paying the price for someone else's sin. What does it mean? From day to day, she's waiting for a visitor who will take her soul out of her. Not everyone can do such torture. Who is this visitor? A variety of versions are being built. They say she was seducing the right people for the benefit of smugglers or conspirators. But I don't believe it. Me too. Tell me about Maria Karina. She's a star. Maria has no flaws. They say that she has no internal breaks, that she's capable of anything, and that's not true. She knows how to control herself perfectly. She just loves her mother too much. Imitates Nina's manner. What's wrong with that? No matter. Maria can be forgiven everything in advance for bringing genuine magic to the world. Let his existence be brought at the price of her wild antics. This can be tolerated. Desperate logic. Do you like Victor Kane? Victor was the only person Nina obeyed, not out of fear, but because she recognized his superiority over herself. She obeyed Simon and Georgi as one obeys the elders, because she respected the strict traditions of this family, but she obeyed Victor implicitly, although he did not demand it. Why did you bring it up? Exactly. There's a mystery here. How he could subdue this demon, and why did he give her complete freedom? In general, Victor is hiding something. It seems that he's waiting for Georgi to make an unpopular move, and then shows us his true face. It was a joke. I don't understand your jokes. And yeah. Bye. And if only I just noticed that his neck is also very, very, very distracting. Bye. Peter's neck and hands managed to confuse me so much that I lost where the... Okay. And as you can see, there's an empty void where the door should be. First of all, save. Day 1. No, Dambas. Day 1. Peter 01. And after this, we go to go house. I think it's this way. Bingo. And here's Sticky, my little boy. Do you want me to show you an interesting thing? Please? Take a look around. Some houses are always open to you. Some are open to everyone only in special cases. If someone dies, or they're a wedding or something else. And some are open only to those who know the whole. For me, any such hole would be too small. Actually, I collect such places. A year ago we started a map. Now there are so many marks on it that the houses are not visible. I was hiding it so cleverly once that I spent more than an hour on a bed in a populated apartment. The owners never noticed me. Interesting. What do I need? Tell me how to get into a stupid house. Do you know how to use lockpicks? I've done a lot of them in my time. I gave it to the guys. I'll manage. Is it really possible to open this house only with a skeleton key? I'll give you a set. They break like matches. I'm sorry for the pun. After 2 or 3 times, but then you can insert new ones here. Such is the mechanics. But I give, of course, not for free. And what do you want for him? Listen, did you get this stupid house? I want to study the powders. Do you need powders? I wonder what buys you that. In stupid house, only that powders lie. Newton made them. Then it's better to climb into the mold or down into the Gorkhon. At least there were valuable powders there. Crucians, buttercups, pokins, Brothers Max, most valuable Busuki did. There are several such houses, and they're terribly valuable. Well, the mold and dove coat. I'll show you the mold. So be it. And I'll even give you a lockpick, if you promise one thing. Well, tell me. When you find the killer, call me. I'm going to take it with you. It's a deal. And now we have here children store barbaric mixtures of drug, the wrong combinations of which leads to fatal consequences. However, it seems that they did not take this risk out of stupidity. They resorted to it as a last resort to escape. From what? Take the lockpicks from the boy nicknamed Mats and open the locked house. Open the house marked by sticky and remove the mysterious powders. What do you think, boy? Who's the killer? Previously, they were looking for a thug, then a bloody girl, and now they announced that Savnak is a werewolf. So the number of hunters has decreased. To kill a werewolf is not to hang beggars on lanterns. Who was it that hung beggars on lanterns? In damn buildings. At first, it was announced that Savnak had killed the old Borak. Then it turned out that he was killed by some stray. And then they began to tear up the girls. And then they found an unrequited victim and put her to a post on the Alt Wasteland. What is the Alt Wasteland? This is the Pillar Square, in the earth, near the cemetery. I'll go out and see what kind of girl is in there. Okay, so another conversation and 2 opinions. People went off the chain. Sane people are locked up and savages are running around the streets. It would be better if they were the other way around. Everyone says they're going to get trouble at midnight. The whole city's on its horns. What kind of trouble do they mean? Some say there will be a war, others an earthquake. Someone is taking such nonsense that it's scary to listen. And I think it's all about mass madness. Psychosis has transmitted and everyone influences each other by hypnosis. Does this happen? It's unlikely that this will happen to you. Do you know who this Aspiti is? Oh, Aspiti is a mysterious creature. Why is it mysterious? No one knows how she appeared in the city. That in itself is suspicious. They also said that she's immortal, like Simon. Marky said that Simon tore all evil from his soul, that step kept bones for the body, and so she was born. Oof. What a mess. Well, who knows? Something's really suspicious. Now, for example, she has some bulges sticking out from under her skin, and she behaves suspiciously. I would have thought she was blinded by the step, but she has a warm body. How do you know? Well, I peek once. Well, okay. Tell me about Murky. Do you play together? Sometimes. I'm friends with Murky, even though she's a baby. But she's already very independent, more serious than many adults. Bonfires, do you know how cleverly it burns from raw branches? Do you have common interests? Well, no. Murky likes to mess around in the mud, and in general, where you will not meet her. She often hurries somewhere in her own business, and most untimely time and in the most sinister places. Won't explain anything if you asked. She looks so preoccupied. What kind of orphan freebie do you have here? And nothing else. We save, and we're going to check on that which Sticky just told us. Just in case. We know it's near the cemetery, but if we can get something nice. Like, yeah, kind of like we get when we see the poor bride burning. Yeah, I'm currently feeling bad about it. Now, so, map. Might be there. See if there's something here. I don't think it might be. Yeah, there. It'll probably will be one of those things that they added later. So there goes the chance for a revolver and for some nightmare fuel. Because yes, I think that's probably one of the most traumatic visions in both Pathologic and Pathologic 2, the sight of the bride being burned alive. Yeah. It's something, and I'm fairly grateful it does not appear here. Sorry for the sudden somber tone. We are getting to the stupid house, and we're getting to see if here goes our very first smother. Oh, by the way, I haven't looked for a long while. Yeah. Oh boy, Danko's a bit hungry and a bit tired. But he can withstand some more walks, and maybe we'll get some delicious egg in here. Hello! Shall we exchange? Of course we shall not. Just to make sure for a second. Yeah, we are where we should be. Excellent. And we want to be peaceful. Hello, sweetie. Yeah, we are not picking the stuff from here, just as I told you before. Hello! Shall we exchange? Not interested. Sorry, sweet. But just in case, yeah. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. And off we go. Nothing yet. There's a lot of stuff waiting here to tempt, but we're not picking it. We are only picking this bad boy here, and it was a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. No, not so much, because what I would have liked to see is the dog heads with the extremely creepy design they had in alpha versions, or at the very least what I have seen so far in videos and the like, which I remember thinking, oh great, I'm not sleeping tonight. I definitely felt it was that creepy. But I guess we'll see the dog head sooner or later, unless the model is not in this version. Maybe? Who knows? Okay, so we still have to meet Lara. We have to meet Julia and Grief and Notkin. Hello! Shall we exchange? Nah, not interested. Oh, by the way, since we didn't save previously, and yes, you know too well that I'm too obsessed with saves coming. Off we go. And here we are again, with a schmoder in our hands. Those who know. And our doctor's round next to finished, having actually met pretty much everyone save for the people I mentioned previously, which we will meet in the next video, hopefully, and those who are in the termitary, in the abattoir, and in the polyhedron, which means Taya, Oyun, and Khan. But anyhow, so far it's been quite an experience, isn't it? Quite like returning home, but with a few things here and there changed. Anyhow, next week we'll see if we can continue further with this day and find some ways to get ourselves prepared for the next 12 days. Because we all know we have some work ahead. See you!